Peace, everybody. It's Brother Yosef. Yes, peace and blessings. So I just noticed that I had this on on public. It's supposed to be on my Patreon. So I just put it back on for Patreon members only. So some of y'all already got the link, so it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? But because I'm noticing that we got a lot more people in here than I usually see, and I think that's because this is supposed to be for my Patreon members only. All right. So to be nice, I might put this on New Life Tools Forever. I might do that. I'm not saying I'm going to do that, but we will see. So peace to the Patreon members. Peace to the Patreon gang. Yes, this is for y'all. You know what I'm saying? I'm doing this for y'all because I'm always being asked about hell stories and more stories. And I don't always like sharing hell state stories because it's some of it is personal to me, but at the same time, it's real. What I'm going through is real. It's really happening to people. I'm really seeing these things, and to see people in these states is really sad. It's really sad. You know what I'm saying? And well, yes, peace, Brother Yoel. I see you in here as well. Peace, family. Peace to everybody in here. Carlos, peace. I'm literally just walking in the house, you guys. Literally just walking in the house, and I said, let me run in here and do this. But yes, peace to everybody coming in. Peace to everybody coming in. So, like I said, this is supposed to be for my Patreon members only, but some of you guys got the link. I'm not sure how many people are actually watching this on the public side, but it is what it is. So yes, family, I'm grateful for you guys being here. Thank you guys for watching. And like I said, I might upload this on New Life Tools Forever. So if you're seeing this on New Life Tools Forever, it's because I made it public again. But my Patreon members will get this first. All right. So today, family, I'm going to share a story about something that happened to me within the first month of moving to Texas. And I'm not going to say it happened to me, even though it did, but something I experienced. And like I tell you guys about the astral world is a reflection of the physical world. Okay. And in the astral world, it reflects the physical world, but there's more going on. Sometimes, let's say, for example, that there are people in the house that was doing seances and they were calling up demons or whatever in a certain house. Well, usually in the lower realms, whatever those people was doing, that house still exists. And those people are still doing that thing in the lower realms. It didn't stop. Okay. But on the physical world, that house may have been torn down or something like that. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of activities that people were doing to put themselves in a lower hell state, I call it hell state once again for all the new people that's on here. I call it hell state to help people understand the area of the astral world that I'm talking about. You know what I'm saying? So, and once again, I thank you guys for wanting to even watch these things. I never thought there'd be a time where people actually want to listen to my astral plane experiences, but I'm grateful that you guys want to, want to listen. Somebody says it keeps freezing. Let me see. It says I had a strong connection. So hopefully you guys can see me and hear me loud and clear. Yeah, we're going to talk about getting people enchanting Empress of Light. We're going to talk about how you can get people out of hell states. It's easier than you think. So everybody said it's just not on that. So whoever said it was freezing, That must be your computer. Who was that? Love says it keeps freezing. It might be in your computer, family. All right. So I'm gonna continue on with the story, but I want to thank you guys for listening to this stuff, because people always ask me and beg me for, some experiences, and I don't like sharing them all the time. Even my heaven state experiences, right? Because it's kind of personal. You know what I'm saying? And I'm using it to evolve myself. And yes, it's true. I do have lots of conversations with entities. I'm very careful of sharing that type of information. Maybe in the future I'll share some stuff, but I like to give people experiences, the things that I saw and what I learned. So as we go into the story, family, learn. I want you guys to learn from this experience, right? It's a very sad situation based on, and the moral of the story is this: you can't help everybody. Okay, that's the moral of the story. You can't help everybody, family. As much as you want to help your family members, sometimes people love to suffer. They rather suffer because they don't want to overcome the issues they have. They rather suffer. So that's the moral of the story. They rather suffer. People rather suffer. All right. And this is one of those stories, believe it or not, I actually didn't want to tell. All right. Because it was so gruesome and so crazy. And trust me, this is not the worst one. It's not the worst one. I know I know y'all want me to get to it, but I'm just giving, I'm giving everything before I put it out there. All right. So y'all just bear with me for a second. All right. So I want you guys to understand that first. The astral world is a place, it's a place where it reflects the physical world. Okay. And you can go to the astral plane wherever you live at. There's an astral version of the astral world there. Wherever you live at, there's a version of the astral world there. Okay. And I want you guys to really understand that. And in this dream, I was a month in Texas and I had this experience here traveling the astral world. Okay. So this happened, like I said, the first month in, and I'm gonna get right into the story. Then we're gonna have some questions and answers, and I'll talk about whatever y'all want to talk about, right? Pertaining to, let's stick to the topic, hell states, but I'll help you to talk about whatever you guys want to talk about. So pretty much, family, after a month of being here, I had my first hell state experience story, or her first hell state experience. Once again, it's not a place I enjoy going to, but for training purposes or for learning purposes, I go here sometimes to observe and examine. I've never been injured. I've never been hurt. Have I been afraid? Absolutely. Absolutely. Like I said, I've seen things I don't even want to talk about again. You know what I'm saying? And I've only saw a child one time down there. There's no children down there, but I only saw a child one time, and that's because this child was trapped. I told you guys that. So pretty much, family, to start this story out, I went to sleep one night, and I opened my eyes, and I'm standing up in what looked like a country setting. Okay, so it looked like the country. Right? At first, I didn't know this was Texas, and then later on, I found out it was actually Texas. So I'm in a country setting, and it's nighttime, right? And it's a little chilly out, right? It's cold enough where you need a jacket. It's cold, right? It's not freezing cold, but it's cold out. It's nighttime, and I'm looking around, and all I see is what looks like a country setting. There's dead trees with no leaves, right? And I see people everywhere, okay? And there's a specific house. The house looked old country abandoned house. That's how it looked. And I see a bonfire going on the side of the house, the right side of the house. Okay. And I'm looking, and I turn my head to the left and I see this old black lady, right? And she's like rubbing her arms, and she has pants on, but she has no shirt. So her breasts and everything are hanging out. And she walked up to me, says, "Man, it's cold out here." She says, "I ain't got no," and I'm actually in the astral world with a shirt on, just a regular button-up shirt. So I unbuttoned my shirt and I gave her my shirt. Right? I literally gave her my shirt. So Brother Yosef out there, bare chest, you know what I'm saying, walking around. But I understood where I was at quickly. And of course, I was cold, but I just dealt with it, right? Of course, I started doing the mudra and stuff like that, warm myself up. That stuff really works in the spirit world. It works better, actually. the linga mudra. For those of you who don't know, the linga mudra to increase body heat. It works better when you're in the spirit world. So she's sitting there with no clothes, no top. She had pants on, but she had no top shirt on. So I give her my shirt. She said, "Oh, baby, thank you so much. Thank you so much, baby." She said, "By the way, baby, you know I can get a drink at?" "Yeah, I just need me a beer, baby, to get past all this." I said, "No, ma'am." I wanted to tell her where she was at, but I knew she wouldn't believe me. So I said, "Ma'am, you ain't gonna be able to find no drink around here." You know what I'm saying? But I said, "I'm looking around and I know how stuff get down." And I said, "You stay with me. You stay with me and we'll see what we could do for you, what we could find for you." So we walking up, and as we walk up, there's a guy that approached us. He had a pitchfork in his hand. So immediately I'm on defense mode. But he looks and said, "Hey, yeah. Oh, y'all here too." He said, "Okay, check this out. We building a bonfire right now. Can y'all run to the store for us? We got something we need to pick up from the store." And Charlie out there, he waiting on us. He had a country accent and everything. Overalls, no clothes under it, just overalls, Charlie out there, a European gentleman. Charlie out there waiting on us at the store. So y'all go into the store and get that for us. Here, take my keys. So he gave me his keys, and I turn around and look at his car. This car is like futuristic. This is some type of futuristic car. You know what I'm saying? I can't even explain it, right? And like I said, now there's different levels of hell, y'all. For y'all who don't know, there's a lower version where there's this sand, it's cold, and people just walking around. That's for people in a very, very low conscious state. They're walking around, it's cold outside, and there's nothing. There's no trees, there's like the sand on the ground, and billions of people are just walking around in agony in their own mind, right? I've seen that's the lowest part of hell that I've ever experienced. The one above that, which is like a higher region, there's also subdivisions, right? But in the next region up, it's like a city. So you can have a country setting, you can have a city setting, you can have outside the city, which would be a country setting. You can have these cities. And on that level, if you got the power to, you'll see cars driving by, you'll see people eating food, right? And you'll see a lot of weird, crazy stuff going on. Like you'll be standing outside of a bar or outside of a restaurant, and you'll see people get murdered right in front of you, like shot in the head. You'll see buildings explode. Somebody exploded a whole building, right? You'll see people jumping out the window, committing suicide. So it looks like a regular setting, but it's crazy stuff going on. Like that will have you terrorized. Like people robbing people, right? Stabbing people. And it's like a regular people driving their car, like nothing's wrong, right? It's people eating in a restaurant, like nothing's wrong. You will see this type of stuff as you in hell. That's another version of a hell state. So, and then Earth is the highest version. To be honest with you, Earth is the highest version of hell. I want to be clear on that. Earth is a version of hell, Malakuth. Okay, for my Kabbalah studiers out there. I'm pretty sure Baltimore hell state is crazy. Yeah. So when you're advanced enough, you can actually travel to these versions. And usually, when you having a dream or vision about you're in your city and it's nighttime, you're usually in that hell state. All right. Peace to everybody coming in. Peace and blessing to everybody coming in. So once again, a gated lady shirt. Guy walk up to me with just overalls on. He looked very dirty, extremely dirty. His clothes looked dirty. His skin looked really dirty. I also didn't know he was Caucasian until I put two and two together. His skin looked very dirty. And him and his people, it was a bunch of them in the background. They was near this campfire, right? And he said, "Here, take my keys and go into the store and pick it up from Charlie or Billy, whatever the guy's name was, Charlie." So I look at the car, I said, "Man, we must be on a higher level of the hell state, because this car looked crazy." The car had one wheel, y'all. That's all I could tell you. I don't know how this car drive. I can't perceive it. I could try to draw it. It had one wheel, but the wheel was in the middle of the car, and you can have a person sit on both sides. Like it was a two-seater, literally. It was a two-seater, so you have a person sit on both sides. So me and her got in the car, and she's telling me the whole time. She said, "Baby, make sure you see a store we can stop and get a drink." I said, "Ma'am, you ain't gonna find no drinks around here." I ain't want to tell her where she was at once again. And she's like, "Well, if you see one, baby, just stop." I said, "Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. If we see one, we'll stop for you." So we go into the store, y'all. It's a grocery store, but there's no real food in here. A lot of the food is rotten. There's flies everywhere, so I'm swatting flies. It stinks in the store. But we go to the back, and this guy is in one of those like chop shops, and he's like looking at me through like the little, y'all know, the little plastic things that kind of hang down. He's like, hey, he told me I was coming over here. Go right here. It's back here. So I'm walking back there with caution, and he comes out with this humongous pig. There's a pig, right? The pig looks rotten. Like, I'm like, who would eat this? So somehow this guy puts this pig on top of the car. He straps it to the car somehow, and we leave. We head on back. I don't know how I knew how I get back to the place, but I get back there. We get back to the place. The whole time I'm enjoying the ride of this car. I'm like, this car is nuts. Like the car, and I'm pretty sure this thing could drive itself. I don't know how these people got this car. They must have stole it from somebody. I'm pretty sure they took it from somebody, right? Like I said, the things could be worked out on the higher region of hell. So we're sitting there. We get back to the house, y'all. And we get back, and I get out the car, and I see people running. Everybody's running for their life. I'm like, what is going on around here? So I see a bunch of people running around, and the guy with the pitchfork, I see him stab somebody. You know what I'm saying? He stabbed somebody with a pitchfork. Now, I want y'all to know that the people that were running around were not just black people. This was black. I seen a Asian guy with glasses. I've seen other European people, white people. I've seen all different races just run around. It had to be maybe a couple hundred people out there. But like it's a bunch of land, and it's a country setting. So, you know, the guy with the fork, he stabbed the person. So they're running around. I'm like, man, I said, why are they killing these people? You know what I'm saying? So I told the lady, said, stay next to me. And she, of course, she's terrified. She grabs my left arm, and I ain't got no shirt, so I'm walking around like this. You know what I'm saying? I ain't got no shirt on. I look crazy, but nobody's really paying attention to that down there. You know what I'm saying? So I walk a little bit closer, and the lady's like, come on, baby, get in the car. Let's leave. Let's leave. We can go get me a drink somewhere else. And I said, ma'am, you ain't getting no drink down here. Once again, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, the hood can be a hell state, absolutely. But this is a country setting, fam. This is in the country. So we go closer closer to see what's going on. I told her, just hold on to me. And the guy who had the pitchfork that I knew of, he runs towards me. He said, oh, he said, I seen y'all showed up too, huh? Well, he's like, where my keys at? Give me my keys. And he's like poking the fork at me. Drop my keys. And I said, I'm not dropping these keys. You know what I'm saying? He's like looking at me like, are you serious? He's like, you're not even running. Why everybody's running except you? And when he says that, family, pay attention. Pay attention to this. When he says that to me, I look over to the right, and there's a man standing there. He has a notepad in his hand. He's writing down everything he sees. This man is very calm. He's sitting there, and when I looked at his energy, I noticed he has the same energy as a person who's in the astral world. They're dreaming. He's not dead. This person has projected himself into this state, and he's writing down everything he sees. And I saw somebody just put up a popcorn and a drink sign, and that's exactly where I'm going into. I know for a fact, guys, that there's people in these so-called horror industries who project themselves into the hell states, and they get movie ideas. Okay? They get movies ideas. They get movie ideas. This man was so calm, he's sitting there like with his head to the side, like he's bored almost, like he's writing stuff down, but his energy looked like mine. So I'm like, yo, this guy, he's not dead. So he's just sitting there looking, he's getting ideas. He's getting ideas. So he's sitting there, he's writing stuff down like, yeah, you know, yeah. So when I'm looking at him, it's almost like he could feel me looking at him. He looks over at me, and he just turns his head back like he don't care. So I'm like, okay, maybe he's some kind of advanced wizard or something, sorcerer, and maybe he sells ideas to move to Hollywood. So the man's sitting there writing. I ignore him. You know what I'm saying? And he's sitting there watching people literally get killed and their heads chopped off with machetes and everything. There's people out there with chainsaws. What's the thing you shoot at the wells? They would shoot harpoons. They were hitting people with harpoons. It was crazy. It was a kill fest. It was crazy. And there was a group of people who was doing this and they were enjoying it. So He's sitting there writing everything down. I said, man, I guarantee, and it hit me at that moment. Now, I knew this before, but I've never seen it actually happen. And I said, I guarantee this guy is like a guy that's writing something down for a horror movie. Guarantee it. That's why you got to be careful watching a lot of these horror movies, family, because they're literally getting a vibration of this from a hell state. Okay? Literally getting a vibration of this from a hell state. So I turned my head back away from him, and the guy still, he started calling me a nigger. He said, nigger, give me that. Nigger, give me that. Give me them keys, nigger. Both of you niggas, give me them keys. Give me them keys. And I said, I took the keys and I put them in my pocket. I said, I'm not giving you these keys. So as he says, and I said, when I said I'm not giving you these keys, these other people run up to us. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, he's like, nigga, give me them keys. So as he says that, these other people run up to us, the people with the chainsaws and the axes, and they got every weapon you could think of, bats with nails in them, all kind of crazy stuff, right? So they all run up to us because everybody else pretty much laid out, right? A few people in the background still running, but they killing everybody. So he walk up to me and, he's telling me to give him the keys. And I'm like, no. So these people walk up with him and he's like, oh, we got a tough one here. He's like, let's show what we do to people that appear to not to be scared down here. So the guy with the pitchfork, he looked like he's going to walk up to me, and I put my hand out and I crush his whole body. He literally turns into a ball. Okay. Now, I'm very confident in my spiritual abilities in the astral plane. It took me years, y'all, but I learned how to use my energy in the astral plane. So I knew what I was doing, right? I crushed him. He literally turned into a ball in front of everybody. So I went like this. He froze, and I just took his whole body and I crushed his whole body with my hand. Now, I want y'all to pay attention to this as well. This is very important, y'all. Pay attention. So when I did that, they all kind of, they second guessed themselves like, wait a minute, you know what I'm saying? What kind of Negro was this? You know what I'm saying? What matter of Negro was this? You know what I'm saying? So they looking at me, and I took the body that I crushed and I shot it towards this tree. Remember, it was trees down there with no leaves. It was like these dead trees. And when he hit the tree, he just splattered on the tree, right? And I looked at him and said, who next? Right? And I thought about something. My higher self spoke to me and said, it said, Joseph, don't become like them. And I didn't know what it meant, but I knew what it meant. You know what I'm saying? I didn't know what it mean, but I knew what it mean when the spirit told me, if that makes sense, right? And what that meant was, I enjoy that. I enjoyed it. I enjoy hurting that man, and I enjoy throwing his body into the tree. And the more I enjoy it, I'm trapping my energy down here. So if I'm down here torturing people, if I'm down here hurting people as well, I'm vibing with the energy. When really I should have shot him away, and that would have scared them enough, probably, right? But yeah, I'll be honest. I crushed his body and I threw it towards a tree, right? So the rest of them looking at me, a few of them ran, a few of them took there, and I just pushed the rest of them back, right? Pushed the rest of them back. So as I walked back to see if I could help somebody else, I was going to help people get out of here. I was going to help people leave the hell state, right? As I walked back, y'all, they was deep frying people. You understand? People was getting deep fried like chicken. They had people on grills. So these people are cannibals in so many words. They were cannibals, and this is what they did in the hell state over and over and over. And guess what happened, y'all? Some of the people they killed was coming back to life. So literally the man who head got chopped off, I seen this Chinese guy head get chopped off. His head literally appeared back on his body. And he went running again for his life, and somebody else killed him. So these people were reliving this stuff over and over and over, right? Very messed up way to be a state to be in, you know what I'm saying? And to be in terror. And these people really don't know. All they gotta do is run down the street and run away from these people. But for some reason, they always there. They always in this space. They all want to be in torment for some reason. So I'm looking at that, and another guy picked up the keys. He was like, another guy looked at me. He said, hey, man, give me my keys to my car. I said, no, this car is mine now. You know what I'm saying? I pretty much deboed him. This is my car now. You know what I'm saying? This car belonged to me. And I looked at the lady and I said, come on, we leaving. Because they doing some hills have eyes. You understand? Hills have eyes. Devil's rejects. They got all that stuff from down there. You understand? And I can tell this group of people was doing this stuff for probably hundreds of years. Right? Probably hundreds of years, probably, maybe 100 years. They've been down there for a long time doing this type of stuff, torturing people. And these people weren't even demons. They were just people who enjoy this stuff. So when they died, they went to a place, they went to their heaven in so many words. They went to a place where they can continuously torture people. Right? So once again, family, it's cold. I'm seeing they deep frying people. It's some crazy stuff going on. Hills have eyes type stuff. You understand? The devil's reject type of stuff. Right? So I turn around, look back at the car. I said, come on, man, we leaving. So she walked with me to the car. She says, wait a minute, baby. I got to find me a drink. She said, let me walk down the street and see if these people got a drink somewhere. I'm looking at her like, man, you didn't just see what happened? I said, ma'am, it'll be your best interest to get in the car with me, and I can help you go somewhere else. She says, no, baby, I got to find me a drink. She said, thank you for the shirt, baby. I got to find me a drink. You all right. Let me find me a drink, baby. If you're not here when I get back, I understand, baby. Let me go find this drink. So I realized at that moment, this lady's an alcoholic. Right? She's an alcoholic, a severe alcoholic, and she must have drank herself to death or something like that. And she is looking for a drink in hell, which she's never going to find. Right? And in the meantime, she's probably going to get tortured, beat up, messed up in some kind of way, right? Looking for a drink. I'm trying to tell the lady, you just seen what I could do. Let me help you. Let me help you. Let me help you the best I can. Right? She didn't want to hear none of that. She didn't want to hear none of that. She wanted a drink, y'all. So, yes, suffering is a choice. Suffering is a choice, and a lot of people who down there, I don't want to say a lot of people, all the people that are down there, they're down there because they put themselves there. And because of their mental state, the negative mindset that they have, they stay there. They stay there. And the torments and the traumas that come with it. So I watched this lady literally walk away. Right? She walked away. She walked down the road. I remember there was the house, and then it was like up the house, there was like a small little road. And then I don't know what was on the other side of that road. But when we drove out of the city, we drove the other way. When we drove out of the back to the city. So I got in the car. I drove into the city, and the city was empty. I got in the car and I left. I woke up. And when I woke up, I felt kind of bad, man. Because it's different when you're having a dream about this stuff. And when you're actually awake and you're in a traumatic situation like that, and you're awake in a dream, and this feels real to you. You don't have this lady grab your arm out of terror. You gave her your shirt. You had this connection to her, right, at that moment. And all like auntie, I had an auntie vibe from her, right? All auntie wanted to do, she wanted to go get a drink. Having a drink was more important than her own life, which probably is what killed her in so many words, right? So that's a hell state story, family, that I did not want to talk about because of the viciousness of it. And like I said, that's not the worst. The worst one I saw, I probably would never tell, but that's not the worst of it. You know what I'm saying? But I decided to tell the story because for some reason people ask me more about hell state stories than heaven stories. And I want to get on here to share it with you guys and let you guys know, if your auntie or your uncle or your grandparents or you had a brother or sister that was an alcoholic, help them. I'm not saying all alcoholics be in that state. They don't. I've seen alcoholics walking around astral cities, right? I've seen alcoholics walking in the cities of hell states. I've seen drug addicts walking around, right? But I don't know what this lady did for a drink that made her end up in a place like this when she came to a hell state. And the only thing on her mind at that moment is, I need me a drink. I need to get drunk. So it bothered me for about a good week. I couldn't sleep right. It bothered me that this lady was down there and I couldn't really help her. You know what I'm saying? I couldn't help her. It bothered me. You know what I mean? And I couldn't sleep really good for like a week. Couldn't sleep really good for like a week, man. And but I had to realize the truth is that there's nothing you can do, Joseph, to help her. Can't help everybody. So let that be a lesson to people, even in the physical world. You can't help everybody. Even if somebody's situation not as bad as being an alcoholic or a drug addict. It could be somebody you're just trying to help them grow spiritually. And they don't want to hear nothing you got to say. You gotta let them go. Let them go do what they do. Let them be who they are. You can't help them. Right? You can't help them, family. So I do not enjoy hell state stories. It's not something I like talking about because I don't like enjoying. I don't even like telling all my heaven stories because it's hard to talk about. It's hard to talk about because it's hard to explain what I saw. But I know that that's more enjoyable for people. Hopefully the hell state stories not more enjoyable. You know what I'm saying? But I know that's more enjoyable for people because they got know something they may have the opportunity to look forward to. You know what I mean? And lately, in the past 2 years, I've been having more hell state stories than heaven stories. And I think it's because of the energy that's on the planet. You know what I mean? And I'm supposed to come back and share it with you guys, tell you guys what I experienced. And everything I told y'all was today 100% the truth. I would never lie. I'm not that bold to lie about the spirit. I'm not that bold. You know what I'm saying? Just like my Baron Samedi stories. I'm not that bold to lie about the God of death. Who can come to see me whenever he wants. I would never lie. You know what I'm saying? So I'm grateful that you guys like those stories, but it might be a while before I tell another hell story. But that one bothered me, y'all. That one really bothered me. I slipped out and told y'all that one about the child story with the little kid. But the one who was in the house and I couldn't really save him. I think a pedophile or something had him. I think that this must have been a sorcerer pedophile. Because I don't know how the pedophile had this child's soul. All right. I don't know how the pedophile had the soul of that child, right? That's the only child I ever saw in the hell state. So I've never seen a child walking around, though. Never seen one. But yes, family. Now let me talk about how to actually get rid of, how to actually get people out of hell states. It's very simple. When you're in a hell state and you have somebody that you want to get out, all you have to do is hold their hand, pray the Anabacoic. You can pray the Anabacoic, the Unisa Dharani, the Unisa Vajaya Dharani, the Lord's Prayer, but you got to say it in Aramaic or Hebrew, right? And the Amaratu Nogoro, which is a Japanese Shinto prayer. One of those 4 prayers will get people out of hell states. There's also other versions of Buddha prayers that would actually release people as well. But these are the 4. The main one I would tell you guys to use, this is number one I always use, is the Anabacoic. So this is why I tell you guys to learn the Anabacoic. Learn it by heart. Don't just listen to it. Listen, if you have to listen to it as many times as you need until you learn it. Learn the Anabacoic. Practice it. Practice saying it in your dreams. See what happens in your dreams. It's going to be some powerful stuff. And when you run into an ancestor that's in a place that you don't deem to be worthy or a good place, then that's what you need to do. You need to pray that prayer to get them out. And what's going to happen is when you say it, you're going to see a white light appear. It never fails. It never fails, family. Even if you're stuck in a low position and you're having a nightmare dream, say the Anabacoic. Entities will run. And I'm going to tell you why it's so powerful, because when you say it, you invoke divine light. You invoke it. So literally divine light appears. And for me in the physical realm, when I say it, my ceiling literally has raindrops of white light. I start seeing raindrops come down. Sometimes it takes me like 3 times to say. If I say it 3 times, I start seeing little raindrops. But the more I say it, these raindrops start. And I've said it so many times to the point where it's just pouring down in my house of this white light. Right? So you can let it play. If you let it play, it does the same thing. If you let the Anabacoic pray. The Anabacoic is also called the miracle prayer. Shout out to Dr. Gibson. If y'all want it, y'all can get it for free from his site, tybro.com. Right? But at the same time, You can also go on YouTube and look up the Anemocoic. You can let people sing it. Some people sing it, right? It's very powerful in all ways. I've tested all of them, y'all. I've tested the ones I've tested all of them, right? And they all do the same thing. That's how you get people out of hell state. Literally, a portal will appear for you to walk through. Okay? I can't, somebody spell it in the chat for people who don't know how to spell it. Somebody said they had people going through Judgment Day and people still lying. Yeah, family. It's some crazy stuff. So y'all hit me with some questions. Y'all hit me with some questions. Is there anything else that QnB used to use instead of Angels of Sanctification medallion? Oh, it's anything that can be used. I think they put a C there instead of an A. Anything that can be used instead of the Angels of Sanctification medallion. Used for what, family? Used for what? I like you guys to learn. If I just have you, the Angels of Sanctification medallion is to be used to help bring that energy around you on a consistent basis. But what if you don't have the medallion? What are you going to do? What if you can't afford it? What are you going to do? The prayer is free. You know what I'm saying? That's what you need to do. You need to learn it so it can be inside of you in the quantum realm, right? We're going to go into that in the lecture in the South Carolina. I'm going to talk about the quantum realm and you're building your altar in the quantum realm, right? DJ Shea Butter says, yes, I sing it, the Anemocoic. That's powerful. Singing it, because when you sing, it lifts your spirits. So singing it is very powerful as well, right? So you'll see a lot of stuff that's sung. You'll see the Lord's Prayer in Aramaic. You'll see that being sung, but you will also see people speaking it, right? Singing it is always more powerful. When candle gazing, my vision starts to blur out the background and focus more on the fire. I get a feeling that my third eye too, and the feeling that my eyes shifts so I can. Okay, any idea? Yeah, that's your third eye turning on, family. That's your third eye activating, and eventually that background blurs away, and you start to see visions. Right, you start to see visions, family. What does it mean to dream of a bunch of silver coins? That is a sign of God's blessings, Sephirim. That is a sign of God's blessings. Silver and gold is the money of God. And when you dream of silver and gold around you, that's God's blessings around you. That's the energy of financial power, financial energy around you. So that's God's blessing. So congratulations on that. I need a dream like that. That's powerful, family. Let's see here. Thoughts on the kingdom of Hades, underworld, and what goes on down there. I just talked about that. The kingdom of the underworld, there's so many gods. I'll go in a little bit deeper. I'll say this as well. And I'll get to the rest of the questions. There's so many different deities. Every deity that's the underworld deity has access to the second dimension. That's what we're talking about here, fam. We're talking about the second dimension. Every being who is a maybe it rules over ancestors, it rules over the dead, it rules over different versions of hell. You know, there's different versions of Hades and different pantheons of gods. And all of them are down there. Anubis, Set, Bastet, Bast, to a degree, is a portal opener, underworld deity. You got Hades, of course. You got Baron Samedi. You know what I'm saying? Even Papa Legba has access down there only because he's a gateway deity. You have so many different deities, fam, that have access. There's even a deity I met one time in hell that, see, y'all gonna make me ruin everything in my book, man. You know what I'm saying? Y'all want all the information. Y'all gonna make me ruin everything in my book, man. I'm gonna tell y'all anyway. Y'all asked for it. If y'all see it in my book, there's no Brother Yosef told you already. So there was a deity one time. I was walking through these caverns. Some Baron Samedi used to lead me down there. I was like, My Lord, you know what I'm saying? I always try to show respect. I don't care if you're God of the dead or God of heaven. I call you my Lord, you know, out of respect. You know what I'm saying? What happened? I'm down there by myself. And all of a sudden, this cat female, she had a very female, curvy type of female body with a cat head. And me and her had a whole conversation. I'm not going to say everything we talked about, right? Some things I can't talk about, but we had a whole conversation. She told me she was a goddess of the underworld, and she was a cat. She was a cat, and I've never heard of her before. She told me her name and everything. I don't remember her name, to be honest with you, but it wasn't the cat goddess that we know of as Bast. This is another version of a cat deity, and only time I found that was in a book called The Gods of Egypt by A.E. Wallace Bud. The Gods of Egypt by A.E. Wallace Bulge. That book talked about another cat goddess. You know, this after I had the dream. It talked about different gods in the hell states, in the lower realms that you will see. And also talk about at different times these gods would appear down there at different times. So there was a goddess down there I never saw, never heard of before. Even in the Egyptian pantheon, I never heard of this deity. I'm not even sure she was Egyptian, but there were different gods down there, y'all. And when I was down there, they recognized me as one. Right? They recognized me and told me I can come here when I want to. It's the same thing when you're in a higher state, in the heaven state. If you're evolved enough, you have a body. Your body's different. So I don't always look like Brother Yosef when I'm in these realms. Sometimes I look different. Sometimes I've even come to some of y'all in a dream. I had wings on my back, right? Or I look different. I'll be cloaked like I'm a teacher, so I look different. So you have different bodies as you grow spiritually. You have different bodies, family. All right. Okay. Hey, bro Joseph, have you ever seen two people fight in a battle using words in the astral? I have not seen that, family, but I that was a very good depiction that they did in the movie, the TV show, Sandman, where they had the Sandman fighting Lucifer, but they fought using words. I thought that was very powerful. I've never seen it though. Have you ever tried the 9 cutting fingers in the astral? Yes. What the 9 cutting fingers do in the astral plane is it makes your aura stronger. So it's like a shield in so many words, right? Is divine light from Rudra necklaces the same as primordial energy? Yes, it's the same. You absorb it in very small amounts with Rudra beads. And they're not really called Rudra beads. They're called Rudra, I think they're Rudra Krishna beads. I just call them Rudra beads for short. But yes, you get a very small amount of primordial energy, but you're getting it by wearing those seeds, those around your neck. But like I say, family, I want to push y'all to absorb it yourself. Learn how to do certain energies and practices to absorb it yourself, right? And that can come by way of mudras and mantras. What do you think you're doing when I gave you the Maitreya? What do you think you're doing when you get the Maitreya mudra? I gave you guys a mudra and mantra for the Maitreya, right? Thoughts on the kingdom of Hades? Okay, I'll answer that one. Dream of all teeth falling out and turning into ice. Man, I can't even tell you what that one means, family. I've never heard nothing like that in my life. All your teeth fell out and turned to ice. I think that might mean, though, you might have to watch what you say. Let's see here. How do I contact Anubis in dreams? Anubis is a deity in the family. He's always listening. If you need his help, get an altar, ask him to come to you in your dreams, he will, especially if you're his child. He's not a higher deity to reach at all. Trust me on that. Ask him to literally come to you. Get one of his statues, put him on a god altar with the other deities, and ask him to come to visit you in the dreams. You could have a whole conversation with him. All right? I keep dreaming of water. I keep swimming in a pool with random people. I know. Okay, that could mean that you're connected to maybe some of the water goddesses or the water gods, and maybe Yemiya. What does it mean if a lion licks you in a dream? I felt healed after that dream. The lion got a fire name, fire mane. Okay, it could be your animal spirit, family. Could be a version of your animal spirit. Why is it harder to spiritually evolve in this realm? Um, is this on purpose to keep us in a low vibration? Yes, family. So it is harder to evolve down here because it's like exercise. Why would I take you into a gym and not put any pressure on you? You go to the gym to build a body, right? We're trying to build another body in the gym, right? A physical body. You go to the gym to build your physical body. It could take a year, it could take 2 years to build your physical body, right? But you go in there every day to do what? To get pressure put on you. So the pressure you get put on you as a physical person spiritually helps you evolve better. So if you're trying to be spiritual, if you're doing practices and you don't see any results, that's okay. The results are there. It's impossible to do spiritual work and not have any results ever. For every action, there's a reaction in the universe, right? Just like when you're in a gym every day, you don't see definition right away. You don't, especially if you're a bigger person, you don't see definition right away, right? You need certain tools to see that you're defining, like a weigh machine, you're weighing yourself and stuff like that. So that's what that is, family. But yes, you're putting this dimension to put pressure on you because, like I told you guys before, Inky understood that if you put pressure on humans, they'll evolve quicker, which they want, but they want to do it in a way that they can observe this time. Last time we evolved quickly, they didn't observe it. They didn't observe it, family. Let's see here. What does it mean to sun gazing while dreaming? That means that your astral body is calling you. If you catch yourself your astral body sun gazing in a dream, that means that you're connecting with your sun, with your solar form. You're doing it. That means that even in your dreams, you're sun gazing, which can be done, which is possible, by the way. And it's a good sign. It's a good sign. So that means your sun form is calling you. If you didn't make the sun blink yet, you're on your way. Have you ever used a spirit box? I think that's the first thing you're talking about as far as like the recorder to record something. And I never used one of those, family. Did I? No, I don't think I ever used one of those. I used a machine to check to see if there's spirits around, but not one of those. Can someone spell the anabacoil phonetically? How do I pronounce it? If you go to my page, what I'll do on Patreon, y'all, I'll put up a form of the anabacoic in Hebrew and also in English. I think I did that a few weeks ago, right? I did that I think I did that about a month ago. I'll put it up again so you guys can see what it means in English. Do not say it in English. You can, but it won't have the same power. You must say it in this tongue, the original tongue. Okay? That is very important. That is very important, family. Let me see if I got it right real quick. Oh, here it is. Okay, I just put it up on Patreon. Remember to say it in its original tone, not in English. All right. All right. We've been 49 minutes, 50 minutes. I once had a dream that I was the Arrowroot Collective. I've heard that term recently in a dream. Somebody I was in a dream with recently told me that word, the Arrowroot Collective. I'm not sure what that is or who you are, family, but I think I met you in a dream recently. Can't remember exactly who you are, but that word right there, I'm talking about a few days ago. But that's interesting. Okay, I once had a dream that I was when I was 9, I was riding on a dragon, and all of my school friends were amazed, and so was I. Okay. Can you let me see? Can you liken the Qliphoth to a hell state? That's a good question, man. That's a very good question. This person asked, can you liken the Qliphoth to an hell state? Let me say this. The hell states I'm talking about exist in Malakuth. All right? For those who understand Kabbalah. And it's the lower versions of Malakuth, right? That starts to connect to the tree of death, which is also the tree of knowledge of good and evil. The Qliphoth family is a whole nother universe, not just a dimension. Right? We got to be clear on that. So I understand what you're saying, that could it liken to the hell states. Qliphoth is deeper than the hell state. There's more to it. Let's call it the true hell. I hate to call it that, but that's where the demons live at. Demons literally live on different planets in the Qliphoth. Let me explain this to you guys. The names on the Qliphoth family are the gods of the Qliphoth, are the gods of that universe. Those gods have families on different planets in that universe. So what am I really trying to say? There's a whole universe of demons, y'all. There's a universe with nothing but demons. That's what I call full-blooded demons. The ones who come from the Qliphoth are full-blooded demons. The OGs and the triple OGs of the dark side. They all over there. Those beings are so powerful until the creator, supreme creator, locked them away. It didn't want it to have no influence. They didn't want them to have influence on the people here, right? They're too powerful. These beings could definitely take out some deities and some angels. They're extremely powerful, and they're some of the first angels of existence that decided to walk away. What they do is they depend on extraterrestrials and other spirit beings. They give them energy to do the bidding in the physical world, and we call them demons over here. Those are what you call half-blooded demons. The half-blooded demons are the demons that are not real Qliphotic demons. They just get their power from the Qliphoth. All right, just to be clear on that. They get their power from the Qliphoth, so they're half-blooded. But the Qliphotic demons themselves are full-blooded, if that makes sense. All right. All right, y'all. I'm going to start skipping around, but I see a lot of new people in here. Is silver powerful? Let me answer this one. Is silver powerful to use solely in orgone pyramids? Absolutely. Is it powerful? Yes. So you could definitely use that in orgone pyramids. Silver has a very high frequency, family. And it's very undervalued today. You can get silver right now for about $25 an ounce. It is undervalued extremely. It should be up there with gold somewhere. Silver is very undervalued, family, on purpose. That's why I'm telling y'all, stack up on your silver, because one day it's gonna come out and be what it is. Can you do mudras that can save you in the underworld? Yes, absolutely, family. I just talked about how I used a mudra called the Linga mudra to raise my body heat when I was very cold. It works better in the spirit world, actually. But if you're not waking up in your dreams, if you're not becoming conscious in your dreams, family, you're not fully in control of what you're doing. So you're not in control of your power. Once again, if you're not waking up or becoming conscious in your dreams, you are not in full control of your power, which means you're not in full control of what you're doing. You just think you want to do this stuff and you start doing it and it don't fully work for you because you're not in full control yet. You have to wake up in your dreams, family. All right. And taking things like trace mineral drops, gold, colloidal gold, haritaki, these things will slowly help you learn how to, and then mixing that with meditation, right? These things will slowly help you awaken in your dreams better. Bro Yosef, today in a dream I saw a huge rainbow and and the sunrise at the same time. Is it a good sign of my consciousness is growing? Yes, the rainbow is a sign of higher consciousness. It's also a sign of a spiritual contract. I should do a video on that. So also a sign of a spiritual contract as well. And it's also a sign of spiritual warfare. That's why my spiritual father, the rainbow, is called Indra's bow. They call it a weapon for him, his bow, the rainbow. And knows it's called the rainbow, right? So it's a weapon of spiritual warfare as well. You just gave me a good idea. 186 AIDI. I know you asked a lot of questions on here, if I'm not mistaken, because that picture looks familiar to me. You gave me a good sign of something I may talk about as well. So yeah, that's very powerful, family. Yes, that is very true. It was revealed to be my higher self that was in a hell state before my current incarnation. Do you know if you had to go to hell to pay? Well, if you're in a hell state before your current incarnation, it wasn't your higher self, family. It was your higher self would not live in a hell state. It's going to be where it always has been, in the higher realm. Your past incarnation probably was in the hell state. Okay, and some people do live in hell states to pay their karma back. Absolutely, they go down there to get rid of if you're an alcoholic or a drug addict or something like that, just to use for example, you may go down there and just suffer for a while on purpose to burn out that karma and then get reborn. But you're still going to be born with trauma. Right. So when the time comes, a lot of times this happens, right? A person will be down suffering for a long time, and their spiritual parents will say, "That's enough. My child ain't suffering no more." This is 100% the truth for what I'm telling y'all right now. A lot of times in the underworld, a lot of people suffer for years and years and years, and the spiritual parents come and say, "That's enough. My child ain't suffering no more." And they go get the child out of that place and say, "Look, you need to go back to earth and get your stuff together. And make sure you don't ever go to a place like that again." And they give them a few extra tools to help them grow. Yeah, a lot of people, that happens to a lot of people. Some people call on their spiritual parents. They'll say, "God help me." And usually their spiritual parents will show up. Literally, if you ask to get out of a hell state, if you ask, you'll be taken out. That's a fact. All you got to do is ask. But some people are so stuck in getting a drink. So they're so stuck in loving to hurt or harm people. They're stuck there. So they're allowed to stay as long as they want, right? And then you got some atheists who don't believe in God, so they stay there for a long time. You don't have to aim it at a specific God. All you have to do is say, "God, get me out of here." And a lot of those, your spiritual parents will show up, because that is your God. You just don't know it. That is your higher self. You know what I'm saying? Somebody said they're still going to buy the book. Okay. I had a dream about you, and you and this guy was making strawberry shortcake, and you said you didn't like it. Plus, a very white owl was beside you, and I felt like it was a school. Okay, very interesting. It could have been. It could have been, family. This is a good question. The person said in the endless dream said, "Did her mouth move, or was she telepathic?" Her mouth moved, family. She was not a higher being, so she was not telepathic. So we talked using our mouth. We talked using our mouth. She was not telepathic, family. This lady had no consciousness of spirituality at all. I think, God bless her soul, man. I think she was a person who just wanted to. She drunk her whole life. She was one of them aunties or uncles. Usually somebody got an auntie or uncle. Everybody know the family. They gonna get they get the first day check the first of the month. They going to get them a drink, right? I had an uncle like that. God bless his soul. But everybody know that somebody got somebody like that in their family, a cousin. You know what I'm saying? Yes, it's true. Hakati does have access to higher and lower realms. All the guys do. But yeah, when people focus on that type of mindset, they pretty much they stay in the lower realms, family. They don't have time to grow spiritually at all. Lately I've been seeing blue orbs out the corner of my eye. You know, when I wake up in the morning, what does that mean? That could mean a lot of things, family. But if you're seeing the orbs and they're there, that's usually a sign of your angel. Usually a sign of your angel. Does our attachment in this dimension make up our potential suffering in the astral world? Yes. If you suffer on purpose, right? Like prime example, there's certain places in every realm where there's a hell state being played out, right? Like there's beautiful settings in the country, right? But could be certain parts of the country, which is true. We've all seen the documentary on Texas Chainsaw Massacre, which was in Texas, crazy, right? Texas Chainsaw Massacre and all these other places, right? Upstate New York seems to be a lot of serial killers up there, right? It's crazy stuff, right? We've all seen and heard these documentaries about these people who, you know, they'll be on a nice street and nobody knows this person's a serial killer or nobody knows this person's doing what they're doing. So you could be dimensions, they call them parallel for a reason. You know what I'm saying? Because they right next to each other. That's why. So you could be in your house in a heaven state and a couple houses down, if you haven't stretched out your energy like you're supposed to, a couple houses down, somebody could be in hell. And when you go to a hell state, you won't see no other houses except that house on that street. I've seen places like that in the hell states where there's streets and it's only like 4 or 5 houses on that street. And one house, somebody was abusing a child. And another house, somebody was they died of crack cocaine or something like that. Another house, they were serial killers. And another house, they was abusing animals. Like, it'll just be something, right? On a negative frequency that held that house to that certain frequency. So that's a good question, family. So yes, what you attach to in this world does make up your suffering. Attachments are the cause of all suffering. So you shouldn't love. Only thing, your number one goal is to get you a light body and get up out of here. Become spiritual, get you a light body, and leave this earth and never come back. However many lifetimes it takes you to get you a light body, that's the main thing you should be doing. That's what it comes down to, family. I've seen places in the hell states where it looks like a hurricane hit, where the ground is very wet and smushy. And it's so weird because you'll see people pushing on the mud. They'll squeeze the mud and no water come out. I've seen people hold the mud up in the air and squeeze, and it's still mushy and wet, but no water's coming out. Nothing's coming out of the mud. It was the weirdest thing in the world. You know, the water is wet and gushy, but there's no water coming out of it. Let me see. Me and my dude seen something with wings flying with a hurricane. We was tripping. Okay. So yeah, family. It's very sad, man. That's why I like telling those types of stories. It's very sad to witness people suffer. You know what I'm saying? I especially don't like when a person don't know how to fight and you messing with them. I never like bullies. You know what I'm saying? Even in the spiritual world, I don't like bullies. Now, if you are a person who should know how to fight, if you're a man in this world and there's another man picking on you, I'm not going to defend you. You're a man, bro. You're supposed to know how to fight. Even if you're not the best fighter and you get your ass kicked, you should still know. You should still be a man about it. Because another man will all respect the fact that you're not scared. So he's not going to waste time on you because he knows he's wasting his time. Right? Even if you beat him up, you know, he knows you're a man about it. So I'm not going to defend another man. I'll defend a woman because a woman is a weaker vessel physically. Right? I'll defend a child. A child doesn't know how to defend themselves against a human, an adult human. I'll defend a old person who can't defend himself against a middle-aged adult. And I will defend a man spiritually. If a man doesn't know how to fight spiritually, I will help him. I will help him defend himself in the spirit world or even in the physical world, right? But from a physical perspective, a man should know how to, know how to be a man. You know what I mean? Real talk. Real talk. In my lecture, I'm gonna give out a symbol that a lot of you guys have seen before. I'm not gonna tell it even on Patreon yet. I'll tell it on Patreon after the lecture. But it's a symbol that is very powerful for protection. I'm gonna give it out in my lecture in South Carolina. Many of you guys have seen this symbol, but I'm gonna explain why it's powerful and why you should wear it. You know what I mean? Why you should wear it. And we're gonna give that out in the lecture. You guys have seen it. Some of you guys probably have not seen it. Some of you guys probably don't even understand what it is. And I'm going to tell you the type of one to get, the type of energy you should get this in, so you can have this on you for protection. This is a protective symbol that I have on me all the time. I actually have it in my pocket right now, and I just don't show it all the time. All right, I just don't show it all the time. It's one of my very powerful tools for protection. Right? Kind of spoke on it before, but you guys probably missed it. You guys probably don't understand what I was saying. Let's see here. I'll answer one or two more questions here. Brother Yosef, have you ever encountered any gods from the Norse pantheon? Yes. Yes. What's the god name? Ares. I encountered Ares standing next to a tree. He was very tall, very powerful. Looked very powerful. The Norse gods are very real. And in physical form, they look like Europeans. It's the truth. So sometimes they will appear like that, but all the gods look different. Even the black ones, they all look different from their physical form. And their true god form, they look nothing like a human. So the Norse gods in their higher form, they tend to have more of a lot of them have different color skin, because some of them are green skin, some of them have purple skin as well. Like my spiritual mother Venus has purple skin, and she was like 10 or 11 feet tall, and she had purple skin, and she was extremely beautiful. You know what I'm saying? And just by the way she was moving, I could she reminded me of that song Beyonce, I'm a diva, which is a goddess. You know what I mean? Some people say it's a demon, but it's more of a goddess or a god. But yes, they exist, and they do exist in the form that they exist in. I've never seen Odin. Who else? I saw the goddess Venus, who was displayed as a European deity. I saw Ares. Trying to think there was another one. I know it's another one. Oh, the god Pan. I've seen Pan before. I saw Pan before. Yeah, Then there's a lot of gods and goddesses I haven't seen. I haven't seen every African deity. There's a lot of African deities I've never seen. I've only seen my spiritual father as an Indian deity. I've seen Lord Ganesha, but I've seen my spiritual father and Lord Ganesha from the Indian pantheon. I'm trying to think, is somebody from the Indian pantheon I'm missing? I've seen some Native American deities, Native American gods. I've seen some of them. I've seen a lot of demons, a whole handful of demons. Seen a whole handful of angels. I've actually seen an angel school. I told you guys that story before. I went to an angelic school. And it was actually a planet. So it was a planet that was actually a school for angels. And I found out my angelic form was there as well. My angelic form was there. And that's when I realized that there were different types of angels. Nobody ever taught me that. Nobody ever told me. But I saw angels that don't look human. I saw angels that were trees, right? There were trees that were angels. There were insects. As far as we call the insectillions, they were angels. There were demonic angels, if that makes sense. That meaning that there was angels and demons mixed. There was also gray. You know how we see the big gray eyes, the gray head aliens with the big eyes? I seen them as angels. They had wings in their back. They were very tall. They were angels. Okay. I've seen and then that's also the story I talked about where I saw a being that was so, it scared me to death. Like this being, like it looked so, it was so beautiful until it was scary. And that's when I said I took off into the sky, flying up this building, and I just happened to come across this one stretch of window where this being turned around and just like kind of struck his wings out at me. And it was like such a overwhelming experience. Like I couldn't even take it. I just woke up screaming and yelling, ah! Woke up screaming and yelling. You know what I'm saying? It was such a intense, man. Something so beautiful. You would think something beautiful you wouldn't be scared of. But imagine if you saw a God and his face was so pretty. You never seen nothing like that in your life, right? So imagine you seeing a God, his face, his skin was so pure, his skin glowed, his eyes, and he just turned around and looked at you. Something this perfect turned around looking. If you can conceive what I'm saying. See, that's why I don't tell a lot of heaven state stories. Because I spend time trying to explain what I see, right? So if you could perceive what I'm saying, imagine seeing something so perfect. And I'm trying to use a human as an example, a man or a woman that got perfect skin. Their eyes are like a color you never seen before, like a gold eyes or ruby eyes, right? And their hair is perfect. And by perfect, I mean like you don't see a flaw. So it could look like this. It could be kinky, wavy, straight. I've seen angels with all kind of hair. But the skin always get to me, man. I don't be seeing skin that's perfect, like smooth. And then they're just demeanor with the clothes they got on. The energy that's shining off, that's the energy that's coming off of them. It just be so overwhelming when you see it. You just be like, oh my God. And for some reason, this angel was in like a black room. Like the lights was off or something like that. And it was a big scratch. So it was like different windows, and it was like a big open stretch of window, and this being just turned around on a pass and just stuck his wings out. It was like a rainbow or something like that. And I remember I stopped breathing. I was like, and I woke up, and when I opened my eyes, I just started screaming, ah! And I remember my wife, I went through a stint like that for like a whole year where I would actually wake up screaming. My wife used to be tired of that stuff, man. Like, what is wrong with you? Like, why you? I said, man, I be seeing this crazy stuff, man. And yeah, I don't think I want to see that again for a long time. But I don't know if that was one of the teachers. And I saw the teacher naked. You know what I'm saying? And I don't know. You know what I'm saying? It was crazy though. It was crazy, family. It was so crazy. It took my breath away. That's the best way to explain it. It was a beauty that took my breath away. Because I could not breathe the whole time I was in that 5 seconds. I saw, and I started shaking. And then I tried to turn my head away, and I opened my eyes. I was like, oh, I'm awake. Ah, you know what I'm saying? It was one of those moments. But yes, I've seen a whole angel school that was on the planet. Somebody said, can I talk about common elementals? I'm not sure what you mean by that, family. Because we know a lot about the common ones. I've done videos about some elementals as well. What do you mean by dating someone in a dream? Did I say that? Did I say talk about dating somebody in a dream? Yeah, sometimes it could be a past lover. Sometimes it could be a past lover. How do I detach from a spouse and children in the earth realm? That's a good question. Because the whole point of living this existence is to prepare, make sure your family good when you leave, so you don't have to be attached to them no more. That doesn't mean you don't love them, right? But what I mean is that some people be so mad because they didn't accomplish what they need to accomplish. They didn't get a chance to watch their kids grow up, because the thing that kills you is negative karma. So maybe you didn't get to watch your children grow. You never became a grandfather or a grandmother. You know what I'm saying? You maybe you died early, or you didn't have the financials when you passed away to help your children when you passed away. Right? Or maybe so sadness is going to be there when you pass away. But for the individual, when you realize the truth, when you have a realization of what really earth is about, and you realize I really had multiple past lives, all you do on this earth is do a couple things: work on your spirituality and create generational wealth. That's all Brother Yosef do. Every day, y'all, I wake up, I'm reading books. I'm in the astral plane. I'm learning spiritual information. I'm practicing spiritual information. The second thing I do, I build generational wealth. I don't do nothing else. Nothing else is fun to me, y'all. Even when I'm teaching y'all, right? That's helped me grow. That's helped me grow spiritually because I'm doing my job, right? So you want to know how to detach from a spouse and children on the earthly realm? You create things so you don't have to be attached to them when you die. Because it's the attachment that pulls you back. You feel regret. You didn't save enough money for your children. You didn't lead your children down a spiritual path you wanted them to go down, right? It's some regret or sadness. You wish you had more time. But when you're really spiritual, you understand when your time coming, nothing you can do about it. All right. So I don't do nothing in my life except generational wealth. Everything else I do is to make my wife happy, my daughter happy. I don't care about going to no mall. I can care less about going to the mall. I don't. I try to keep myself looking decent. Don't get me wrong. But that stuff don't mean nothing when you get it. You know what I'm saying? I don't care about material things. I can't be crazy looking crazy. Now I gotta look decent. So I buy clothes, but at the same time, that doesn't give me joy. What gives me joy and happiness is the fact that I'm gonna tell y'all what gives me joy and happiness. You see this? This belongs to my daughter. This belongs to my daughter, right? When I go, the passcode, everything, my wife, it's in my trust. All right. I do have a will. I have a trust. It's all set up for her. So I don't need to worry about her when I leave. She's gonna be straight, especially when these cryptos jump off the way you need to jump off. Generational wealth. And that's not the only thing, real estate, whatever else, but building things that I know is going to allow her to have the life I didn't have when I was young. And on top of that, all the books, including my book that I'm writing, all the books, spiritual books that I never even showed you guys, that she's going to have access to. You see what I'm saying? That's how you detach, by making sure everything is good when you go. And guess what, y'all? It's not always easy. Some of us have jobs and we can't afford to do, but do it in small increments, y'all. Do it in small increments, right? And you will slowly build wealth. The best thing you can do is get your family life insurance. Think about this for a second. And I'm not a tax expert. I don't give financial advice. Please do your own research, right? Please do your own research. I'm not telling you to do this. I'm saying, in my opinion, the best thing you can do is get life insurance. Because if you get $1 million policy on your children, or yourself even, and you put your children as beneficiaries, a whole life insurance policy is an asset, not a liability. So if you own an asset for life insurance, that's $1 million. Guess what your net worth is on this world? You're a millionaire. You're a millionaire. So if you create, even if you can't do $1 million, do $500,000, $300,000. If you can leave $300,000 for your children today, that's life changing money. $500,000, $300,000, and guess what? It don't cost a lot, right? Get that. Yeah, the birth certificate is worth millions, but we don't like to talk about the birth certificate, right? I've learned something about the birth certificate. I don't even like leading people down that path. Just get you some life insurance, family. Once you get some life insurance for $1 million, it's life changing. I remember back in years ago, I met a kid. When I first started getting into this trust information, I met a kid in Buffalo, New York, that pretty much, family, when I met him, he had a $300,000 townhouse. And he was getting ready to start a car business with a fleet of cars. And he was 27 years old. At the time, I was 35, 36 years old. And I was so impressed. I was like, what do you do for a living? He said, oh, I don't do a lot. He said, I got a life insurance policy though. He said he took a loan out and bought himself a house, paid for it. And he also used some of the money to start a fleet of cars, a car service. It can be life-changing, family. So something as simple as that can make your children millionaires, make you a millionaire on the record. You know what I'm saying? So yeah. I heard you say on the red cap video that there are some elementals that are more common to encounter that most people don't know about. What are some? That's a good question. One of them is the red cap. One of them is the red cap. And really what I was talking about, family, is the different families inside of the salamanders, and the different families inside the fae or the fairy, and the different families inside the gnome families. You know what I'm saying? You know, like the brownie families and different things. All these different ones are right in front of your face. You just don't see them. Especially if you live in a very wooded or natured area, especially in certain parts of the world. These nature spirits are right in front of your face. You just don't see them because they know how to hide. They know how to camouflage themselves, and they don't like humans that don't have a simple nature. Excuse me, not a simple nature. They don't like humans that don't have a pure nature. They don't like humans that don't have a good heart. That's why they love. That's why I like children. Children see them all the time. Oh, mom, you just saw something. Go sit down. That's how the parents gonna act. The kids, because of their innocence, they really saw something, and those type of beings reveal themselves to those children all the time. So I'm not joking when I told you guys how to make a fairy altar. I told you that a couple months ago, last year. Make a fairy altar like this. It's not a game, right? And let it be around your children, right? It's not a game. And entities will appear around your children because they love children. It don't matter what color your children are, white, black, Chinese, it don't matter. They love the innocence of children, period. Because guess what? Elementals come in every color as well. That's right. Just like mermaids. There are mermaids that look Asian. There are mermaids that look black. In the Caribbeans, all the mermaids are black as far as I know. As far as what I've experienced, they're all black. For some reason, they have red hair. I don't know why they got red hair, but they got red hair. And a lot of those they actually connect with the, because of the currents, they actually connect with the mermaids that are on the west coast of Africa. So the west coast of Africa and the mermaids in the Caribbean are actually a family. They actually connected, right? And a lot of the mermaids, you know, they those currents and stuff, they actually control it out of those currents. But that's why when you see the little mermaids, yeah, she's supposed to be black. If she really came from the Caribbeans, right? Which is where, you know, he looks to the accent of the people that's, you know, the little crab, he has a Caribbean accent. They're in the Caribbean islands. She's supposed to be black. You know what I'm saying? And she has red hair. I thought that was very, people be knowing stuff, man. All the color hair they could have gave the Little Mermaid. She got red hair. People be knowing stuff. And yes, there are European looking mermaids. Absolutely. Absolutely. So yeah, family, I'm about to get ready to get off of here. Somebody, yeah, you came in late, family. Somebody said I came in late. If you just got here, you got here. But I might upload this tomorrow. I'm gonna let you guys soak in this information for a while. I might upload this on New Life Tools Forever, just to be nice. I mean, I gave y'all so many dope lectures on here and talks. I might be nice and upload this on New Life Tools Forever. But you guys pay, so I want y'all to get it first. All right, I want y'all to interact with me. I'm pretty sure on New Life Tools Forever, there's a bunch of people that would love to ask me questions, but they're not Patreon members, right? And I got so many people in here right now. I'm thinking it might be some people who got the link from New Life Tools Forever, but it's all good. It is what it is. Because that was my mistake. I didn't mean to put it on public. I put it on and I saw that on another channel of mine. I should have noticed that. It's like, why is this on my channel? I didn't pay any attention. you know, but yeah, it is what it is, family. So yes, love these talks, family. I love talking to y'all. I love sharing with you guys. Thank you guys for being a open door where I can come and talk about my spiritual experiences. I don't know. I like to hear people tell stories also, but ain't a lot of people that got real stories out there like that. You know what I'm saying? So I never thought people would want to hear mine. So I'm grateful that you guys okay, now I know people from YouTube is in here. But hey, peace and blessings to everybody that's from YouTube. You guys made it on one of my Patreon live videos. But it's all good, family. So I might as well go ahead and put it on New Life Tools Forever. But yes, family. Wow, talking about mermaid. Somebody named me here Siren. Yes, much love, peace. Thank you guys for watching. We're gonna get in here and do this again very soon. I've been extremely busy lately, and that's why I haven't done a live stream since what, Monday or Tuesday. Also, thank you guys for the support on Brother Rich channel. Man, this book right here, y'all. Brother Rich called me back an hour after the live stream was over. He said, "Brother Joseph, you got to start putting out an affiliate link." Shout out to my sis Michelle, because she's been telling me that for a long time, and I do have it. I just don't think about putting it out all the time. He said, and I said, "Why, brother?" He said, "Because, man, that book is sold out. I can't buy it." Brother Rich said he went to go buy this an hour after our live stream. He said that, and here's the book for y'all who don't know, right? Great book on psychic, to build your psychic abilities. He said the book was already sold out. So shout out to the people that actually got it, you know. And I know the guy who wrote it, he's like, man, what the hell is going on? Why is all this, you know? Somebody said they got a PDF form. There you go. There you go. So yes, family. Brother Joseph, love y'all. Peace to the family, peace to the tribe. And we will do this again very soon, family. All right? Talk to y'all later. Y'all have a good day. Peace and blessings.